Guys, we know the diagnosis right now, right? The diagnosis is out of her mind. Look at this chick. This chick is over here laughing about this situation on camera.
Furthermore,
moms who do this should go to jail. This is by far the most evil type of false accusation a mother could be trying to pin on the father of their children. So a father walks into court asking the judge to take away the mother's parenting time, not because he wants the kids to not have a mother or cut her out, but because she keeps on filing fake essay accusations against him. Each time this insane woman makes a false accusation, their 6-year-old daughter is dragged into another hospital for another invasive examination. 3 times in 3 months this has happened. And yes, of course they should investigate these claims. These claims should always be investigated. But what happens when CPS gets called over and over and over and over and over again, and they keep on finding nothing, and it's proven that this woman keeps lying? Well, in many cases, nothing happens. In this situation, the father finally refused to return the kids after yet another round of fake accusations, and he's stating that he's protecting the kids from their mother. Now, when the judge finally sees the stack of police and CPS files, everything changes. What happened next, we're about to find out. The title of this video is Mom's Plan to Take Kids from Dad Backfires and Judge is Not Happy. Shout out to Meg's Crime Watch. Regina Smith is the bottom right. This is the mother right there. I believe the father is up there at the top right, behind there, letting his attorney talk. Good move. No more to talk. Let's get into it.
Copy of the defendant's response to the plaintiff's motion. There is attached to it a number of CPS law enforcement reports.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the court went through all of those, and obviously there's concern, say to everyone, on protective services, law enforcement on the mother's conduct, making particularly, the court would agree, Mr. Procedural, these go, most of these date back to prior to the last order of this court of July 18th, 2023, but the court was sort of somewhat taken back by repeated unsubstantiated complaints of child abuse on the part made by Ms. Smith.
Is she smiling? I think people like this, if proven false, should face some type of consequence outside of just, lost parenting time. It should be jail.
The daughter of the parties that went through 3 same exams within 3 months.
3 same
I don't know if we
exams.
just said this better for a hearing. I just want to make sure the front of the court's aware of all that. Protective Services never sought to petition this court or file a complaint against Ms. Smith. Why, I don't know, with that kind of history. But the most recent complaint was made by a mother in January of 2024.
All right, we have something that just popped up on screen. It says THE, I think that says, is the acronym used for essay examinations. Keep watching.
Or file a complaint against Ms. Smith. Why, I don't know, with that kind of history. But the most recent complaint was made by a mother in January of 2024. And that report was made to West End Police Department as well as Protective Services. Does anyone know the status of the January 2024 incidents reports by mother?
She's
To my
smiling.
knowledge, no formal action has been taken toward either party.
Okay, so it's still pending as far as you know, Mr. Petrangelo?
Well, I suppose it's a question. If no action is being taken, I don't know if anybody's acting on it. I've seen no reports of any recent activity from law enforcement.
Mr. Petrangelo, did you receive a copy of the defendant's response to your motion and all the attachments?
I did.
I didn't know if those were provided just to the court or if the other party received those, and Ms. LaPrade received those. Obviously, Ms. LaPrade, her office received those.
Yes, sir.
We received it.
Looking at this woman, you can tell that some craziness is about to come out of her mouth. Let's talk about the sponsor of this channel, fathershaverights.com. Engaged and soon-to-be married men, a single prenup slip-up can cost you tens of thousands later. Waiting until the last minute or signing under pressure are the mistakes that sink most agreements. My step-by-step guide at fathershaverights.com, built with expert attorneys James Sexton and the lead attorney, shows you exactly how to avoid every costly prenup mistake, all for the price of a couple of dinner dates. Tap the link pinned to the top of the comment section to safeguard your future and join the hundreds of soon-to-be husbands protecting their marriages the right way.
And the court would note that mom filed a police report against dad as late as February 6th, claiming an occurrence occurred on February 3rd again, with again a false allegation. And according, we just received the report today, that again, Westland Police they're going to close the case because it's yet again another false allegation of sexual abuse against dad.
Another false allegation. You know, in the last video I did where a mother was sort of doing the same thing, in that case, she was accusing somebody else other than the father. It was a man staying at the father's house. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is there were people in the comment section who were like, oh, I believe her. Even after the court ruled and said that, ma'am, you're not getting the kids in that situation. They didn't give her the kids. The kids chose to stay with the dad. And people were sitting there feeling sad for her because she started crying. And I was confused because how many times does the situation have to be investigated for you to finally believe that there are chicks out here, moms who are willing to go this far, who are happy to see a man rot in jail due to false allegations? I was completely shocked by some of the responses out there.
Right. Mr. Procedural, is Ms. Smith still being assessed by a psychiatric nurse practitioner by the name of Patricia Tiemann? Do you know?
I know my client attends counseling. I'm not sure if that's something different. Ms. Smith, do you know who the judge is referring to?
She is retired. She retired a few months ago.
So are you still seeing her for any reason?
No, in October, I believe, of 22 is when I started getting on antidepressants with when I was seeing her, but I no longer see her.
That was a year and a half ago.
Yes.
You need to call her back.
Well, the reason the court's asking, thank you, Mr. Procedural, is the court believes that Ms. Smith should not to be evaluated. And she previously saw a psychiatric nurse practitioner, so somebody at that level that can do an assessment. Of course, somewhat shocked these allegations had come before the court prior. I know where the parties were back in this court in 2023, but the reports that Ms. Oletas provided the court those never came to the court's attention in the past. And court, if the court's going to follow this recommendation today, the court's going to add to it. The court wants a psychological evaluation of Ms. Smith.
Well, Your Honor, if you're going to order psychological evaluations, they should be done of each party. I would say, Your Honor, in this case, everything that's been raised with the except in the last few weeks is all related to prior to your last order. These the parties met with CPS. They haven't seen fit to take action against either. Their letter that I attached, dated February 15th, said the parties should follow the current parenting time order of this court. So CPS saw no emergency, saw no urgency. And what did my client do? She followed what CPS said. What did Mr. Smith do? He took the children, refused to return them, pulled them out of school, which is in the effect of telling the kids, don't you dare ever report anything I do, or I'll put you somewhere where you can't get any help. You have no counselor to talk to, no school authorities, no parent. That's the scenario we're here. He held them. The only thing we have recently is she went to a doctor. The doctor said, report it. And I've attached the doctor's statement to that effect. She followed what the doctor said. When CPS said, follow the court order, she did. So she did exactly what was required except for 2 days. That's a proportionate response by her, does not indicate any psychological problem. What isn't proportionate is father with no emergency, because CPS didn't see any.
Wait a second. The emergency is his freedom based on lies from the mom. What does he mean, no emergency? How are you listening to this and somehow expecting CPS to say, hey, keep these kids away from their mother? They're rarely going to say that.
Refusing to follow what they said, refusing to follow what you said, pulling the kids away, pulling them out of school. I don't know what that has to do with anything except to keep them away from everybody. So it is, we've submitted photos to the friend of the court today and to counsel that show what appeared to be injuries. I could forward them to this court. I didn't want them in the court file. Huge red, purple circle on the child's similar kind of injuries on the child's. It was a couple of days before she got into the Dr. Benjamin, but his recommendation was you are to go to the police. He made the report to CPS. That's the scenario. I don't see anything based upon that of any conduct in the last 8 months with these people for to suddenly say my client's acting psychologically inappropriately.
You can tell he doesn't believe what he's saying. This man's just doing his job. Probably the worst part of it, which is having to go against his conscience. Why pull him out of school? Well, I mean, let's think of a couple of reasons. If someone's willing to do this, maybe they're willing to kidnap your kids or something like that, right? What do you guys think?
And Your Honor,
Well,
I just would
in
like
court agree,
to
Mr.
point
President,
out.
the court has read the pleadings thoroughly from both sides. So I understand there's
Am I being too dramatic? Be honest, guys.
appropriate response by withholding the parenting time for weekend, but no, not a long period of time. Both parties are at fault, but clearly there's a history here, which this court was not aware of until just recently on the part of Ms. Smith.
Right.
And the most recent was manifested in this another January 2024 report. I agree. Most of these allegations go back to July of 2023, but the court was not aware of some of these allegations. There's numerous witnesses that indicate that these children are being coached by mother. Professionals have concerns about mother's relationship with the children. Protective Service is very slow to act. So it's not surprising that they have not taken the action. The court sees no reason for a psychological evaluation of Mr. Smith, but the court will order that be a psychological evaluation of Ms. Smith. I was hoping somebody, it doesn't have to be a physician, maybe a physician's assistant, somebody that maybe, I don't know if Ms. Tiemann does any private practice. Does she do any private practice, Ms. Smith, or is she totally retired?
She's retired.
All right, maybe she can suggest someone to you. I'm really concerned about the continual. I mean, there's a pattern here. And back, yes,
Your
and I agree,
Honor,
Mr. President, a lot of these things are old. It doesn't provide the court for the basis right now to change custody or parenting time because they go back to prior to this order of July 18, 2023, which the court recalls the parties agreed to. Yes, parenting time was every weekend, Friday 5 to Sunday 5, but there's a history here that's quite disturbing to this court.
And Your Honor, I mean, she just filed in February another police report, and they didn't attach, ironically enough, the full medical record as to why the doctor referred mom to make another CPS report, and that's because of mom's history of what happened. Mom is the one who stated that, which has improved. Mom developed suspicion of injury when she overheard the child talking with his 6-year-old sister, whispering. Mother stated she heard daughter state the father threatened to hurt them and for them not to tell anyone. Mother further stated the daughter stated father tied patient to a chair by the ankles and has given him.
Miss Olette, the court has read all of that. You don't need to recite to the court. Instead, I've read every pleading, every piece of paper that's been submitted. I've read.
If you actually believe this, guys, listen to me here. I think this is the best point. Why would you be smiling? This is a sick woman, right? Like she's here giggling and laughing on camera. But I don't think any mother who's actually going through this, like if you actually believe this is happening to your daughter, would you be sitting here laughing every time? And I understand for some people, I do it myself. If there's a somewhat serious conversation, I understand giggling because you think someone's trying to play in your face. I do it sometimes too. But this is not that. This is disturbing, sick, and very, very serious. If this was your child, would you be smirking the way she is right there? She knows she's lying. I don't see a mother who actually knows this is going on being this comical with this whole situation. I just don't see it.
Court notes for the record, there are sexual complaints made by the plaintiff mother on October 2022, April of 2023, May of 2023, June of 2023, now again in January of 2024. So the court is inclined to adopt this recommendation. Grant time will continue. I'm going to set a review dates, and then the court's going to order that Ms. Smith secure a psychological evaluation.
So mother's
I think
parenting time
whoever's going to
gets
do that
continue?
evaluation needs to
That's
be provided with
crazy.
all these reports.
That's
So Ms. Petrangelo, once
crazy.
she's identified a person that would do this, if you could inform Ms. Olette, the person who is going to do that evaluation, so
Wow.
Ms. Olette can transmit a copy of all these CPS reports and doctor's reports to that psychiatrist or the nurse practitioner psychiatrist. So they have the basis for this court's concern.
So can this be a psychologist or psychiatrist? You said psychological report. I wanted to be clear before I ever get somebody lined up.
Any thoughts, Mr. Pratt? Or again, I just know the report said the mother was previously was seeing a psychiatric nurse practitioner. So I think it's more of a psychiatric issue than a psychology issue. I'm looking for some suggestions, guidance, help.
Your Honor, I would think psychiatrist, it's been my history of knowledge that psychologists are more so medication when a patient needs medication. So if you want an actual diagnosis, you're probably going to want a psychiatric.
Okay. Ms. Olette, would you agree?
Yes, we would agree.
All right. So Mr. Petrangelo, to answer your question via a psychiatric evaluation.
Your Honor, for the record, a week ago, the parties had a family meeting with CPS as well as Westland Police, and Attorney Olette was involved in that, which is part of the reason.
I'm sorry, I'm speechless. I'm speechless that they're still letting the mom continue parenting time while they're figuring this out.
I made the recommendation I made. They did note, though, that mom needs to stop filing false allegations with CPS. So there has been involvement, Your Honor.
Okay. Is it possible they may seek authorization of a complaint against mother? Is that still open and pending?
That's what we were told by the Westland Police Department.
Okay, remains to be seen.
Furthermore, CPS is already.
Guys, we know the diagnosis right now, right? The diagnosis is out of her mind. Look at this chick. This chick is over here
Police Department.
laughing about this situation on camera.
Furthermore, CPS has already indicated.
These are the type of court hearings and situations that men hear about that obviously point to why the courts are biased. This is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if they need to see her, doing drugs, on drugs, or actually need to see her maybe put the children at more risk to be hurt. I don't know what it would take. But just watching her in this whole video, I'm not a professional. Maybe there's somebody who is that's watching. There's something wrong here. There's something wrong, seriously wrong with her.
That they are formulating another case against mom for medical abuse as well as mental abuse of the children for having them undergo all of these exams.
That's crazy.
And if that comes to fruition, Ms. Olette, bring it to the court's attention. Again, the court's going to add to Ms. LaPrade, add to your recommendation, to your recommended order, Ms. LaPrade, that the plaintiff mother secure a psychiatric evaluation as soon as possible. And the court, like I said, this for review. I don't know how long it's going to take. Perhaps you can assist her, Mr. Petrangelo, in identifying such a person. I was hoping this Ms. Tillman was still available. Ms. Tiemann is Tieman. Patricia.
Perhaps we could I don't know if we can reach her anymore if she's retired, to see if she would recommend someone. There's a few psychiatrists here in the community.
Okay. So perhaps Ms. Smith can reach out to her, see whether she's got any recommendations. And if so, Ms. Smith, pass any names on to Mr. Petrangelo. Mr. Petrangelo, if you would notify Ms. Olette once you know the identity of this person, whether it's a psychiatrist or a nurse practitioner. I think that would be sufficient. And the court's going to set this for review.
Would anticipate it's going to take, just first we have to identify someone, then she has to make an appointment and all that. It's going to take a few months before we'd have any information for the court, I assume.
Nah.
Okay. All right, we'll set a review date in May. Ms. Olet, if something comes to your attention about any charge being authorized against Ms. Smith, whether it's CPS or Westland Police Department, bring it to the court's attention. You can always notice this on, and we're pretty good at giving relatively quick hearing dates.
Yes,
So we'll set this for review and sometime in May.
Children go through again another actual exam.
Well, yes, the court, I'm reluctant to order that this child not submit this minor daughter not to be submitted to another SANE exam, but Mr. Pratt, what's your thoughts on it? This child went through 3 SANE exams within, I believe, a period of 3 or 4 months. I mean, that's traumatic. And there's some comment that the doctor was concerned about her emotional well-being. But I'm reluctant as a court to simply prohibit the parties from securing such an exam. I would just strongly warn Ms. Smith, you better have some pretty strong documentation before you just submit your daughter to another exam. It's very traumatic for a 6-year-old.
Caption here says, you think a mother would know that. Well, she can't know that if she's not in her right mind.
Mr. Pratt, your thoughts on that?
Your Honor, I think that an order barring that would probably be contrary to what this court is attempting to do, but I would just strongly, I'm a firm believer in reminding people of fairy tales and the boy that cried wolf. So we just need to be cognizant that we're being honest when these things are happening rather than, and again, the police said no more false allegations. So it's brought to the police's attention, Your Honor. So if we could curtail that, maybe we could get back on track.
The problem is the kids keep undergoing these exams, and I feel there's no intervention.
Well, that's maybe CPS, push CPS. CPS is very slow to respond, Ms. Willett, and I understand that, but I think hopefully Ms. Smith heard the comments of Mr. Pratt. You better make sure that they're accurate and you're not making false allegations, Ms. Smith, because that could result in a loss of custody if there's another occurrence. In any event, Mr. Chandra, Ms. Willett, do I have May 21st or May 22nd?
All right, as I was going to check out some of these comments, see what the people have to say. Top comment here says, those kind of false accusations should get her automatic jail time. 100%. 1,000%. I don't know if there is a state that actually orders jail time for these type of false accusations. And I know people are going to say, oh, I wouldn't want to do that. Think of the real victims. It's going to deter people from reporting. Well, maybe you give people a certain amount of strikes. Maybe you say no more than 3. And this situation should have gone over that. And the other thing is, it's already pretty bad when it comes to believing the opposing party within court. Attorneys don't believe he said, she said allegations of abuse. I know this because I spoke to a very popular attorney who goes by the name of Lauren the Lawyer, and she was talking about the importance of actually having proof, because she says are just situations that don't go far in court because people lie consistently. They're willing to lie to win. It's war, right? And unfortunately, people can be psychopathic with the levels of lies they're willing to tell, as in this situation. Somebody else who says, any woman who makes up such allegations and puts her children through medical examinations should not have any custody. What a sleazy, underhanded, and manipulative thing to do. Just repulsive. Another person here added, crazy that the mom has no penalties in parenting time, even though she's filing false accusations and traumatizing her own children. Shame on her and shame on the judge. She is a piece of shit. Somebody else here added, I wouldn't put it past this woman to hurt her own kids to try and frame the dad. That's what I was thinking of. Next comment here says, Miss Aulette looks absolutely appalled. They're talking about his attorney, the female attorney there, who was looking really shocked and surprised. Goes on to say she looks really appalled that nothing is being done to stop this mom. We all feel the same way, Teresa. And this is part of the reason why when you listen to an attorney talk, and I've spoken to the female attorneys as well, they will admit that the court system is unfair to men. They'll just say it plainly because it's sort of like denying the elephant in the room. Somebody else here says, if a man made these allegations, he would lose visitation. This woman needs to be in jail. Another person here added, the judge allows this woman unsupervised parental time. Shame on our judges. This is crazy. insane story. Of course, guys, I'm curious to know what you think. Gentlemen, be careful. Be very careful of the women who you choose to have children with. Hey guys, as always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon to be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link into the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.